Hey guys, it's Jacob, aka Changing Snaps. You know, it isn't often that I choose to review new support for a clan, but considering the fact that Bushiroad decided to name one of their cards Grudgeful Oguchi, I literally could not pass it up. So, we're looking at 7 Cs today. So this is what I'm working with. Now, a bit of historical context before I get involved with the deck. So 7 Cs was a nightmare of a deck during G format. Before the change in stride rules introduced at the start of V, 7 Cs Rush was a deck designed to stay on grade 1 the entire game, and it would win by having multiple battle phase calls. And by staying on grade 1, you prevent your opponent from subbreezing you, which would turn on their GB, and if a deck didn't have access to a GB count, it basically lost. That's how it would win. It was so strong that to this day, Night Runner and Night Crow are on the ban list for reasons I cannot explain in confidence, but it was so strong that in 2016, it was the first and second place lists in the Bushiroad World Championship. Throughout 2017, it was multiple people's first and second place lists in the Bushiroad Championship Series. And in 2018, during Divine Dragon Apocrypha format, it made its final appearance in Chris Zock's second place Springfest Team League deck profile. It was, if a deck can compete in Divine Dragon Apocrypha format, it was that strong. Butterfly to Moonlight was one of the last core sets in V before Overdress was introduced. The set was responsible for introducing Night Rose, Hari, Yasue, and Sharad into the V format. Now, the two main clans, being Pale Moon and Granblue, had two separate archetypes to fill. For Pale Moon, it was Hari and Silverthorns, which were previously supported in Phantasmal Steed Restoration. And for Granblue, it was Love of My Life, Night Rose, and 7 Cs. They really did not want Ghost Cs to be a coherent deck yet. So 7 Cs were introduced back into the game with a unique mechanic in Treasure Markers. Treasure Markers literally do nothing. They just sit there and look pretty. However, the cards surrounding Treasure Markers gain effects based off of how many markers you have, not only in defensive capabilities, but also offensive capabilities in the form of almost 11 attacks at max, and 2-card guard numbers. So if they have 11 attacks and 2-card guard numbers, what's the issue? Well, the only way you get Treasure Markers is by having your units with 7 Cs be able to successfully hit your opponent. Doesn't have to hit the Vanguard, but it just has to hit. So you are giving your opponent control over how many Treasure Markers you generate, which, as you guys know, I hate. It's not necessarily the best strategy, but it's the one that they have. And with Heal Guardians in the game, it makes early game rushing just that much more difficult, in addition to your only real beater being Slash Shade. Until Grudgeful Oguchi came around. And yeah, that's its actual name. It's pretty haha funny. So Grudgeful Oguchi and Night Haze are the two new additions to 7 Cs within the clan collection. So Grudgeful fills the board in exchange for 1 treasure marker, but it also gets 3k for every 7 Cs card in your drop or bind zone. So we have another big chunker, and Night Haze for a counterblast. You know, Granblue has great grade 2s that each take a counterblast. Allows you to check top 5, get a 7 Cs card from among them, and then put the rest into your drop zone. Fills up your drop zone, it's Navigator, it lets you get stuff that you're looking for. It's pretty good. So let's get into the deck profile. So every 7 Cs card has the ability where on Van or Rear, when its attack hits, you can generate a treasure marker and put it on any one of your circles. So with that out of the way, for Night Mist, Ride or Die, it gets skills based off of how many treasure markers you have. If you have at least 1, all your units with 7 Cs in their name can attack and intercept from the back row. It doesn't grant intercept, but things that can't intercept from the back row. If you have at least 3, all your 7 Cs units get 5k globally. Includes himself, just helps beef up everything. And then if you have at least 6, at the end of the battle that it attacked, you can stand all of your 7 Cs rear guards. This is how you enable 11 attacks, basically, because you have 5 rear guards, the Vanguard, and then another 5 rear guards. It can get out of hand really quickly, so you gotta run for the earlier you see it, the better. 4 Heal Guardians because I like staying in the game. 4 Grudgeful, we went over this. It is a new chunky boy. 2 Greedshade. So the non-7 Cs cards that I'm playing are 2 Greedshade, 2 Tommy, and 2 Negerbone. You want to play non-7 Cs names in order to facilitate Nightcrow, and I think these 6 offer the most utility. Greedshade helps filter your hand a little bit to help you dig for, Grudge or Night Mist or Spinals or what, etc., etc. Tommy's just a top 5 checker, and Negerbone lets you discard a card from your hand and then just call stuff from your drop zone. So realistically, these are the 6 non-7 Cs cards that I would play. And Nightcrow, I don't like Nightcrow, but, it's a 7 Cs card. So for a Soul Blast and retiring of a non-7 Cs name, you can call it back from your drop zone. Which is why we run non-7 Cs cards. And these 6, I think, offer the most utility. You don't want to play Columbard because you have enough grade 2s that counterblast, and if your entire grade 2 lineup is just, when placed, counterblast, you're going to get damage denied more often. Moving on, 4 Night Spinal. When placed van or rear, you can counterblast 1 mill 2 and then call a 7 Cs. Just really good. Yeah, that's all I can say. Slash Shade, if the circle it is on has a marker, during your turn it gets 15k. It does not matter if it's a Protect 2 marker, which you are going to go into most oftenly with this deck just to enable shit, but it was your main chunker. Still is. Really good. 3 Night Haze. I want to play 4. That's a lie. I don't want to play 4. If you are playing 4, then oftentimes you are calling it down after the second time just to be a 14k attacker. But the first time you resolve Night Haze, it's like, okay, cool. The second time you play Night Haze is like, okay, that's good. The third time you resolve Night Haze, I'm questioning about the status of the game going on. I don't know why you would need to resolve it a 4th time, which is why we're only running 3. But 3 Night Haze, I find it to be a really good number, but feel free to max out on this. Nightcrow, we already established. And Witch Doctor, same clause as Slash Shade. If the circle it is on has a marker, it gets the ability to intercept. So, really, really good. Tommy, we went over. Negerbone, we went over. 2 Night Runner. So you can bind this card from your rear guard, mill 2, and then add a 7 Cs card that isn't Night Runner from your drop zone to your hand. It's Greedshade. It's Greedshade in a different form. So yeah. For triggers, obviously the 4 heal, but this is a 8 draw. You're playing a combo deck and you need to see your combo pieces as often as possible. Plus defensive draws are just so good. 4 crit because I didn't feel like playing 12 draw. I thought at least that was excessive. And then Guiding Zombie, because I don't think Guiding Zombie gets enough love. So, here are some games. So for game 1, we are going against Ripples. So we ride the Tommy, call down the Witch Doctor, standard try to rush, land 1 attack, gets blocked on the first go around. Rides, attacks into the rear guard, doing a bit of damage control. Rides Genovius. And Cheyenne tries rushing me. And, I accept it. I guard some of it. I damage trigger one of it. And, I think I eat a damage that I wasn't supposed to right here. I was too flustered at being rushed, but, okay. So, ride the Night Mist, Night Haze, build a board, etc. I go after rear guards because I don't want to give him counterblast. He's low on cards, if I can control the board any better, then I'm going to outpace him, but also get treasure markers. And Cheyenne's returning in spades, where he's also trying to control my board and just ultimately control the tempo of the game, because that's what this matchup is in particular. So I go ahead, build more of a board, and I got 1 treasure marker. So I have to go into rear guards. Cheyenne recognizes that I'm just going to keep punching that terrific coil in the face. He intercepts, which gives me less targets to attack, which I think is correct because ultimately I end the turn at 3 markers. I don't want to push him to 4, just because I don't want to have him restand his whole board, even though I think I remember what his entire hand is. But I guard everything, he draws, and so now this is a build a board time, and I fear no ghost. I mill as hard as I can, bump up the Oguchis to a really, really big number. They're all 59. And so now I just go in, and by the end of this, we do get our 6th, but it doesn't matter. Okay, game 2 is against Eradicators. Now, in my defense, I didn't know this was Eradicators for the first, 2 turns. I thought this was going to be something like Vanquisher or something. But, we go through the motions of, rushing him down as fast as possible. Ride's a grade 2 that is literally just Berserk Dragon, so I get punished for calling down the Witch Doctor. I ride up, play the Protect 2, call down the Slash Shade because the Oguchis will not do anything. I didn't know that Vowing Saber was released, so I push him to 4 like an idiot. Even more so, I make a misplay because I was too focused on the fact that Vowing Saber was released, and I enabled it on his first grade 3 ride, that right here, I'm about to bind a Greed Shade when I should have bound a draw trigger. It's just one less proc of Vowing Saber, but still, so he's going to power up his board. I'm going to deck thin, and, he swings rears, and because I pushed him to 4, he's going to be able to restand his entire board for a Counterblast and a Soul Blast. So rushing down didn't work out this time, and considering the contents of my hand, I have 2 Oguchis. The bind zone part of Oguchi is coming in clutch because he is still going to get power, but I'm going to need a miracle in order to get out of this one. So we Tommy, deck thin, deck win, call down 2 Oguchis, power them up, and then we just start swinging and hope we can land something. So Tommy goes in, Cheyenne takes it, Oguchi number 1 blocks, Oguchi number 2 blocks, Night Mist comes in, gets PG'd, and I have no way of guarding anything. He rides Descendant, which is just the nail on the coffin, even more so, because it's going to copy the Vowing Saber and just absolutely wreck my day. I do want to point out that this is a funny thing. So he doesn't have the extra Counterblast, but if he did, he would have been able to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the first go around, 6, 7, 8, 9. One of these attacks, the Vanguard would have been blocked, so he would have had 14 attacks. So game 3 is going up against Gurgit. So this is including the clan selection as well. So he swings under, which I do think is correct. I have the Knight Spinal hand, so I just try to rush him as best I can. Land 1 damage, he Agleveils, and he says, you know what, I'm going to rush you back, but I'm going to rush you in a way that you're not going to have any Counterblast, or little to no Counterblast, I should say. So I guard the Agleveil. We joke here, where it's like, damn, I just denied myself a damage here, like a moron. So ride the Night Mist. I choose to control rearguards because this is Gurgit. If I give Gurgit a Counterblast, I will most likely die. Swings. We're swinging. We're having a rearguard contest about who gets to control the rearguards most. I Night Haze, find the Night Runner. Night Runner gets the Oguchi. I go hand to board, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to control your board, and I'm swinging, rearguard swinging all day, every day, and we're getting close. We did end up getting the 6th marker because Cheyenne said no guard, and I just applied it prematurely. So we did manage to get to the 6th marker, and good times all around. Good times all around. So yeah, Cheyenne's, Gurgit swings and, calls two Liberators. I am not vibing with on-hit attack extension. So I guard it, and then because I'm at 1, I just kind of figure, you know what, I can eat the rest of these safely. So I do. And this whole turn we do utilize Oguchi's skill and remove a treasure marker, fill up the board with Slash Shades, and we just go face the entire time. So, Cowabunga, Unga Bunga, Ooh Ooh Ah Ah, Berserkerella. Now, game 2, Cheyenne goes first. Finds the Liberator Dragon, decides to ditch the Mock Slash. I ride. I do not have Night Mist at all. He chooses to damage deny me. I don't think that's incorrect, considering Grand Blue's grade 2 lineup. I get 1 marker. Bada bing, bada boom. Give him 1 damage. He rides into Prominence Core because if he had the 2nd damage, he would have gone into Percival. But because he didn't have it, Core just beefs up the rear guards as is. So, yeah, it is a scuffed game upon re-watching it, so it is going to be fun. So, I guard almost everything. I G-assist, and I whiff. I Night Haze, I find Oguchi. I don't find Night Mist. And I look at my hand as I go through this entire turn, swinging rearguards and damage denying him, that if I ride the Oguchi, I lose. So he has a vanilla Gurgit swing, tries to swing into a Slash Shade. I don't want it. I draw into a 2nd Oguchi. And once again, I say, I lose if I ride up, because I cannot handle the number of attacks that Gurgit is going to get. Not without Night Mist. So over the course of the turn with the Greed Shade, I do find the Night Mist. And I say, okay, next turn, I can do it. So Cheyenne calls down the Gorbaduck, calls down the Heal Guard, puts a damage in, and he called them to the back row because he didn't want me to have attackers to punch into rearguards, which I think is correct. He didn't know he was going to double-check Aglavale, so that worked out nice. So, I guard everything, want to keep myself at low damage. Ride the Night Mist. Go Night Haze. Go Night Runner. Into double Oguchi. And now comes the interesting bit. So, we go 13, and Cheyenne guards it. We go 19, Cheyenne guards it. Slash Shade gets eaten. Oguchi gets PG'd. Oguchi gets PG'd. Night Mist gets eaten. We are 1 marker away from a full board restand. So Cheyenne has to kill me. I have 6 cards in hand. I kind of look at it, and I'm like, ooh, boy. Okay. So I guard the Vanguard, eat damage, heal out, and I damage trigger out of this turn. That's the moral of the story. Is that me damage checking out of that turn actually saved my life. I had the double PG for the rest of the attacks. I build the board with Oguchi's skill, and in comes the most scuffed bit of the game. So Cheyenne's guarding it, right? He eats 1 damage. I get back the 5th treasure marker. I swing Slash Shade. Cheyenne chooses to use Gurgit's skill. In the top 5, he has a PG. And we spent about 10 minutes talking about this choice right here. Because he has the PG for 1 Gookie. He has enough shield value to guard the 2nd Gookie. But he doesn't have enough to guard Night Mist, as it is currently. So, if he guarded the Slash Shade, like hard guard the Slash Shade, then he would have most likely won this. Because, I'll be honest, I checked nothing off these drive checks, but I do get the 6th marker. Because, as we see, he had enough to guard one Gookie. He had enough to hard guard the second Gookie, but it cost him his entire hand. And so he was forced to eat the Night Mist, and the whole board restood. So that was scuffed, but that was a hard fought battle. So we're back, and while that Gurgit game was close, I don't think it's going to be as top contending as we think it is. The issues of the deck are still there, but its power output has increased, which is, in V, that is the name of the game. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you liked it, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And, yeah. Next time, I will be reviewing Premium Witches. So, stay tuned for that. Alright. Have a good day, guys.